Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one in Finite Space. A game about, as in looking up the synopsis, Finite Space is a furry visual novel that explores the invasion of a deadly foe, and those who rise up to combat them. Join the ranks of the illustrious knights of the Asterism Union. I probably butchered that. As a squire in training for the Cavalry division, the first engagers to incursions and the most respected, but also the ones that suffer the most heaviest losses. Learn, train, and grow with your fellow squires, and discover what it means to love, to heal, and to form bonds. This novel will show military training, uwu themes, with a variety of genders and alien foe races, and deal with trauma and recovery. We hope to show the story that breaks a few furry visual novel traditions, which I wonder how that works. Maybe they're straight to woo. And give people the story that, while linear, offers choices to engage in stress relief with any and all of the main cast. You choose if you want to take part. Choose those you want to, or don't want to, and be happy by the end that you played this visual novel your way. So before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $5 a month. Also, is there anything else? Oh, if you want me to do a Let's Play series of this game, tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put up higher on the user's choice list. Also, if you want to suggest any other furry visual novel for me to do a quick look of or let's play of, then tell me, and I'll put it in the quick look thing and add it to the list. Reset face. Jan Stuart. New users detected. Thank you for your purchase and welcome to Starlight Tactiles. Please register your name. Thank you, Core One Stringer, for your business. Your new Instant ONet connector has accepted your biometric imprint. Your STIK is running an outdated operating system. Connecting to the intranet for updates. Updated. All files corrupted. Verified. Because it do be like that sometimes. Starlight Tactiles, keeping you in touch with the galaxy and beyond for over a millennia. Welcome and enjoy.
Fulgor Prime. Millennia ago, the Lupine people looked up to the stars with a collective hope. To meet and befriend all peoples they could find in this finite galaxy we call home. And so they did. They were the first to reach outside of their system and began to form connections with other planets and races. In time, the Asterism Union was born, a galaxy-spanning coalition of people and planets, as numerous and diverse as the stars we all call home. It had a noble purpose: to share, to coexist, to bridge and come together, to far exceed the sum of our parts, and elevate one another to truly dazzling heights. The plague tried to stop this dream. They came without warning, deep into our systems and worlds, hungry for our resources. Truly alien, impenitent, and unrelenting devourers. They harvested our planets like ripe crops, dredged our oceans, and consumed our virtuous people for reasons beyond understanding. They denied all hails and pleas to stop. They attacked any who dared oppose them, and they disappeared with their ill-gotten gains like ghosts. We were unprepared for and defenseless against such foes. Thus, the Union's great minds came together once more, this time with the purpose to defend and protect us all. The answer was the forming of the Knights of the Asterism Union, the brave and stalwart individuals from all systems who put their lives on the line to push back this insidious threat. From our logistical division known as the Castle to our keen-eyed archers, the KAU employs any with the will and desire to stand against these despicable invaders. The pride of our forces, the cavalry, leads our valiant soldiers as the vanguard. They pierce through the plague as the first responders to any appearance of the malicious locusts. They cannot do it alone. Much as the Asterism Union cannot thrive as parts, we must come together now more than ever. All walks of life, any person who feels the passion to stand up for what is right and true can be an asset. Stand up for your friends, stand up for your family, stand up for freedom and against the plague's tyranny. Stand with us.
How'd you like my voice acting there? I'm joking, though. I like it. I mean, I know, it's an entire thing to get voice acting for visual novels, but still. I mean, that's one reason why I liked Clay's stuff quite a bit. The two recent ones, because it's like, that gives me a bit of a reprieve on reading, and also gets me a bit more into the stories. You know? Oh boy. I bet that increases cost quite a bit. Reset face. And time. Or whatever. Do it again. As the Asterism Union fleet makes its way out of Furry, our quaint system welcomes them with open arms and bids them a pleasant stay. Their efforts against the plagues, reaping a decade ago, show that even the most far-flung planets are still important to and cared for by the Union. Fuck. Damn. More. Will? As our humble yet brave pages that are ascending to become squires leave us for further duty, we ask you all to stay true to your roots. Remember what happened here and make us all proud. I'm close. Corwin, I'm gonna... The joining of Patriarch's speech I was half listening to fades away as Miro squirms beneath me. His breathing hitches as he woos. Well, we went into this right quick. He clenches his eyes shut as he groans and mews as warmth between us. His and Titans, I can't help but follow suit, with a few lazy woos of my own and grown satisfaction. Yeah, there we go. Fuck. I lean down and plant a kiss on his soft feline lips. The tickle of his whiskers fluttering against my cheeks always makes me grin. He looks at me with a bittersweet smile and eventually pushes against my chest. Well, gonna have to cover that up. Boop. That was great. Now go on, get off me, and throw me a towel. I swear, the worst part of your insatiable appetite is how often I have to shower. I'm gonna enjoy not having to worry about the water rations with you gone. He might be joking, but his voice is cracking at the end makes it clear that he's trying to put on a brave face. Others had come and gone, but Maros, we've been with each other throughout everything, and we both know we're going to miss the shit out of each other. Ooh, I also have to cover that part up too. Ooh. It's all over his chest. I pull out slowly, catching as much of the mess as I can on the sheets. Grabbing a towel from his neat rack, I toss it to him and give him my own fox jovial smile. You'd best enjoy it while it lasts. In a few years, you'll be back by my side. Then, all the showers will be on KAU time, and we can resume indulging in the many study sessions as we'd like. So are we of different age, or is he gonna join the KAU later? Not even the afterglow from our messy, last-minute fun is enough to dull the ache in my chest. Damn, I'm gonna miss him so much. Whilst the uwu aspect was fun to blow off steam, my friendship with Maros was the one constant I've had for years, and the feeling of loss and separation was still a bitter taste. Maros busies himself with cleaning up before looking at me with sharp eyes. I want to hear everything. You get to actually be up close to active duty ships. Some Frisian, surely a Maori or two, and maybe even an Andalusian class ship. My jealousy knows no bounds. Morrow swoons at the thought. He's back into his ship obsession, which makes a goodbye easier. Not to mention the dropships. That's what I wouldn't give to just examine one of their engines. I can hardly wait. Hey, no, Jesus, that's a bold eulogy. As Oh, I think I forgot about that, but whatever. As he looks off dreamily, I've known I've lost him. I feel like I've soaked up enough by osmosis, that I could probably bore someone else in his stead. Took me a while. It's like, we learned so much about him talking about his his comic guns that we knew about it. I don't know. The reason I passed my written exams was most likely due to how much he talked about them. As he continues to talk about gravitational slingshots and system jumps, I gather my clothes and redress. It might have been unplanned, but I'm glad that we had a good romp before I left. And he's got those big banes. I know most of the time Rawls just puts up with my libido, but I know he enjoyed this enough as much as I did. I hope he finds a good replacement while I'm away. Everyone needs to unwind every now and then. Well, that's what porn's for. I'm lonely. Anyways, speaking of. Okay, Mar. I get it. I promise I'll chat as much as I'm allowed, but don't be disappointed if I can't do much. I'm sure there'll be all kinds of restrictions, and I won't be able to tell you everything. I promise I will try. He looks crestfallen for a second before he perks back up. I understand. I just wish I was getting deployed at the same time around, too. Be a weight off my mind if I could get hands-on with the steed that you'll be flinging yourself around in. I guess that would be like a small ship or something? Looking at decades-old design hollows of ships doesn't cut it. He grumbles, but that is just his way. Part worried, part jealous. Rose isn't ready for the practical exams this year to be able to enlist. How can't he? Didn't you say he helped us? Even though I'd scored higher than I had ever had in practice, I still came close to not making the deadline. I couldn't spend 4 years waiting. I need this. Morrow knows. We don't need to talk about it, and I'm thankful for that. After I finished putting my pants back on, I checked my small pack of belongings. While the clothes I had on were the nicest I own, they were far from new. Once we began our final approach, I'll change into my crisp new uniform. As nervous as I am about becoming a KU Squire, the ripping feeling of excitement and anticipation is stronger. Constantly, I find myself checking the vacuum-sealed package to make sure it is still real. A small beep from my STIK indicates the fleet departure is approaching and I have to leave. I snatched it from my dresser and then quickly deactivate the leader's spiel without looking, flicking the device tactile nodes to shut down the holo display. My fingers run over the biggest notch it has, a deep gouge that runs a few inches along the left side. Among the many scars the device has gathered, it was certainly the most memorable, something I'd touch absent-mindedly, like worrying a loose tooth. Maros pounces on my back and wraps me in a version of a strong embrace, pulling me out of my thoughts. Man, why can't I have somebody like that? Maybe it's because I suck it. Anyways. Send me a quantum message when you touch down, alright? Even if it's redacted and all that, just let me know how things are. He lets go to look at me with those kitten eyes as he does, and my mouth tugs into a smile. Of course he will, Mar. Don't worry. I may be going far, but I'll still think about this bittersweet system at least once in a while. But yes, I'll message you as soon as I'm there, I promise. I give him one more hug, this time facing him, before parting. I know I can't drag this out any further, so I make it for the door. I feel a lump in my throat, but I cough it down. As I pull the door ajar and give Marles a final look back, he waves and then shoos me off. With that, I turn and leave. The transit gets me to the port fast enough. I spend my time staring at our planet from above. What happened to that side of the planet? It feels so close, yet so distant. As much as I miss it, being relocated to the moon has its benefits. The fact I don't have to ride one of the barely held together shuttles up here certainly makes the difference. Even now, I can see the cracked and barren side of the planet that the plague attacked. It's a scar that will perhaps take her entire life cycle to fully recover from. You mean the planet's life cycle? Because then it would be dead afterwards, right? Also, I don't think a planet can survive like that. Not really. I don't know. Bubbling rage starts to well up. My hands clutch at the armrests in anger. Arriving at the intersystem port, all transfers and destinations outside of Foro I'll light here? I don't know. The loudspeaker announcement pulls me from my fixation, and I finally look away, getting up and grabbing my meager belongings. I join the bustle of others making their way out. Oh, it's like a regular airport. Seeing the Ark ship always takes my breath away. The colossal fleet vessel stands gleaming and imperial, dwarfing the other ships in the port. Morris and I came every quadernal to see it, and dreamt of the day we would be leaving on it. It stung that we both weren't going, but seeing what I had been working so hard for finally makes me buzz with excitement. Approaching the ship, I see large containers being offloaded. The contents will be distributed to the populace. Is that how you spell that? The Union's aid allows us to keep colonizing the possible living space on the moon, as well as assisting in revitalization efforts planet-side. I straighten my back proudly as I step forward with greater purpose. I'm now part of the fleet proper, even if the actual change in classification will come on Aukid. I see the entrance where the new Squires enter, and I make my way over, and Ursine checks me off her list. An innocuous podium with a glossy panel stands beside her, a marker outlining the area for scanning. I place my palm on the waiting device and force myself not to wince as needles pierce my wrist, taking the required blood sample. I've seen this test happen before, and part of me wants my first point of contact with the Knights to be a strong one. Whether or not she was impressed, the large Knight does not show it. She focuses on looking over the readabout for my vitals, showing no hazards or pathogens to my body. Boy, wouldn't that be nice. The Urson waves me through with a curt nod, which I return. After I head inside, I turn my head just enough to give my home a final look before the door blocks it from view. The journey from Foro is quick. Being one of the farthest flung systems in the galaxy means that the Ark ship would have picked up all other new Squires along the way, with us being the final stop. Because of that, I missed out on having the time to get acquainted, form friendships, or get to know possible bunkmates. Rotten luck. The ship departs from port soon after I board, with the announcements and entering exceed soon. I know. We are ordered to enter our quarters and prepare for the jump. Now, there's not even a chance to scope anyone out. Double bad luck. My cabin looks like it would have been comfortable had I to use it. My eyes linger on the sizable bed, and I offer a silent apology. I mean, boy, these quarters look fantastic. After storing my pack in the locker, I secure myself into a chair. The straps automatically coil around me, locking me into place. Once the bands are tight, and I see their color change to the all clear green, I realize I'm holding my breath. I exhale and then force myself to take a deep, calming breaths. Whilst Page training had prepared me for all kinds of faster-than-light travel, this would be my first exceed jump. I jolt as I feel the hum of the engines rumbling to life as the ship starts to move. I keep my focus on the doors ahead. I stare at the fixed point as I control my breathing. The burst of speed is expected, but still rattles my entire body as the ship lurches forwards. A ripple of energy passes through the ship, and then everything is silent. We exceed, collapsing several star systems worth of travel into a moment. It feels almost out of body, or like sensory deprivation. The sensations of touch and hearing are taken from me. I'm glad I had a light breakfast, as I feel my insides squirm, but I continue focusing on my breathing and staring at the door to reel it in. It feels like days pass before we exit Exceed, but it is normal to experience some temporal confusion. In reality, it has been no more than a few hours at best. Boy, that would also kind of suck, being like, well, we're tied to a chair for several hours. A chime from above signals we can get up. Unbuckle myself and stand shakily. I'm glad I got through that without anyone watching. Not eager to repeat it anytime soon. Unless it's like some kind of like airplane thing where like, I don't know, you could do stuff. There's a computer over there. I staggered to the bathroom and gulp a few handfuls of water and slowly regulate my breathing. In, out. After a moment, I feel more centered as I return to my room. That was interesting, in a twisted, inside-out kind of way. Better change now, then, and see if we're planet-side. Rescuing my pack, I unzip the duffel and remove the neat parcel of my uniform. Still, the plastic it arrived in. I lay the various sets out on the sadly unsullied bed. Thoughts of team bonding with some of my fellow recruits danced briefly in my mind. I dismissed them in favor of the task at hand. Man, main character's a hoe. Ran my fingers along the sleek under armor I will be wearing for combat and active duty. I'm tempted to try it on. I smile at the thought of the brutal training we will be undertaking in preparing to serve our knights. Ooh. In time, yes. For now, I focus on dress uniform. The dress. I considered changing once in my assigned station, but I don't want anyone making assumptions based on the state of my personal clothes before we even begin. Humans are rare enough to join a combat corps division, let alone the Cavalry. I can't help but brim with pride as I thumb over the insignia that tells everyone that I'm a Squire of the Cavalry. They're the best of the best, and the leading force against the plague threat. All that training, all those extra hours practicing, and honing my skills, pushing myself further than I thought I ever could. This symbol is the culmination of all that hard work. An announcement from above states we're coming into orbit around Fulgur Octid, and we should prepare to touch down within an hour. I hurriedly take off my clothes and then dash to the shower in the corner. I want to view the descent as much as possible. By the time I get into my uniform and head to the main deck, we're already moving into an entry descent. Still, I drink in the sight greedily. Ocid, one of the 4 main lupine-settled planets outside of their home system. The terraforming is beyond belief. Not even a hint of the inhospitable rock they found is still visible. Even from orbit, the lush lands and the full oceans beg your belief, as if they painted them on. Lupines are always presented as lovers of natural things, but this truly feels utopian. That's one thing I don't like about Stellaris, sorry for this tangent, is that in that game, like, you're supposed to be like super advanced space race or something like that, but then it's like, oh, you can't terraform all planets. You can only terraform some planets. Like, okay, at least Master of Orion you could terraform all planets. Anyways, passing by us in full orbit is the floating satellite city, Belvos, which serves as the first line of defense against possible attacks. There, all levels of the fleet train for spatial engagements, from learning zero-gravity maneuverability to omnidirectional awareness. There will be a lot of brand new sensations to grasp and master. I try to recall all the different things I read about Ocid as we descend faster, the notable landmass, climates, and environments, but it all blurs together in my excitement. The destination swelling into view is all I can stare at. The den, where all the uwu happens. The KAU city, Densis, or the Den, as it's commonly known, is home to squires and knights from all over the quadrant, housing all divisions as well as being the key strategic location for the fleet to engage from. The facility and outer city at large is fully geared to launch immediate action when needed. The Den is home to top-of-the-line training facilities, technological manufacturers, as well as hosts of bars, eateries, and other off-duty entertainment. I can see others staring and admiring as we speed down smoothly, even with the size of our vessel. I am distantly impressed by the piloting. Prepare to disembark the Ark. Collect all belongings. Cabins left outside the KAU standards will incur a demerit. I see a few Squires make haste back below deck to tidy their quarters. I didn't have the opportunity to make mine a mess. Even then, I smoothed over the bedding and straightened up the bathroom before coming out. Looking around to spot potential rivals, or maybe some sparring partners, I see only a few have donned their uniforms. Just seeing how fancy some of their civilian clothing look, I can tell many of them come from larger and richer systems. Others come from prestigious families or clans, no doubt. I like how I look in uniform. I stroke the fabric again to reassure myself that I belong in here. With another announcement telling us that we're about to dock, I turn sharply on my heels, hoist my pack over my shoulder, and then stride for the exit. Hopefully there's Jackomen here. Walking through the tunnel that leads out of the train facility, I gulp. The sounds of footfalls echo around me, matching my erratically beating heart as we reach the opening. Stepping into the light, I blink out the bright sun as the courtyard spans before us. The looming building shines and glimmers, its curved shapes fitting against the lush open area. A water feature cascades down one face, and turbines turn lazily in the breeze. Uniformed squires stand alongside some manner of apparatus calling us over. I'm taking it all in when I feel an impact from behind. Ooh. Just as I start to stumble, someone firmly grabs me by the elbow. With that, I catch myself and turn to see my assailant. My apologies, I was not looking where I was going. Are you alright? The objection dies in my mouth as I see the large blue form before me. Immediately, I'm reminded of Maros from those whiskers, but this specimen makes Maros look like a kitten. Cute. His piercing eyes stare at me with a mixture of concern and mild impatience. Given his tail flicks, I assume... Sorry, I herp. More so, the latter. We both are being left to the side as the others push forward. Yeah, sorry. I was lost taking it in. It was my fault. Oh, Main character must be doing the human thing where they find some place, some choke point in a walkway, and then stand right in the middle of it. Sorry, I hate how people do that. I stumble over an apology, but the spotted individual doesn't seem to mind, or doesn't care. He turns to look at the lines forming in front of the building. It is quite alright. We should hurry though. I'd rather get in the complex before the lines get too long. You'll have more time to admire the scenery later. Giving me a polite smile, the feline turns and starts to walk away. Muscular, yet lithe. Long, thick-looking fur. Ooh. Perhaps he is from a colder system? The big tail suggests it, too. I don't know how a big tail would suggest a colder system. I would think that would be like a mountainy system. You know, like snow leopards. For balance. Anyways, I had to shake my head to stop from just staring. I jogged to join the others, feeling verified. As I approach the front of the queue, I am greeted by an avian using the wristband STIK to verify all persons entering. Name? Corwin Stringer, sir. I straighten my posture as I enter them. A check on the display, and they nod in confirmation. They then gesture towards the squat device to their side. Squat device? It's about waist high, smooth, metallic, and has a single slot on top. Squire taps it, sighing impatiently. Prop your STIK in the slot for it to be remodeled. Remodeled? What does that mean? I ran my fingers over my scarred and immediately older device. Even if I could afford a newer model, I'd keep this one. It means a lot to me. Look, it's necessary. This will clean it up, scan for faults and malicious programs, and then update it to the KAU's firmware and encryptions. It will take not but a moment. They look as if they've explained this multiple times today. Although I'm hesitant, I don't want to hold everyone up. I place my STIK onto the slot, which sucks it in. After the machine lights up and vibrates softly, I hear a whirring of mechanisms inside, then a dull beep chimes. Outside's my new STIK. I need to put the audio down a bit. Seems a bit louder now. Oh, it's because I didn't put it down at all. That should help a bit. I scrutinize it immediately. It looks mostly the same. The main body is now immaculate in gray, the gold edging to the interfaces and tactile inputs. The main body is now looks mostly the same, but okay, whatever. It looks good, but I still handle it with some trepidation. All the marks and scuffs are gone, except yes, the notch down the left side is still there. I smile. It looks like some scars stand up even with the fleet's impressive scrubbing. A soft squawk gets my attention. Yes, it's very nice now. Enter here and head down the far room for orientation and nightly assessment. That gets my attention. I knew a squire's duty was to a knight, to attend them in the daily life and combat, but I didn't know we would be assigned immediately. I'm about to open my mouth to ask, but I can see they've had enough. I march past into the building without holding them up further. My heart flutters again, apprehension building in my chest. I assumed we would be chosen by a knight after being trained up. Maybe in some showcase or display of our skills. The fact that I come from a nowhere planet on the fringes with no standing makes me nervous that I will be chosen last, or worse, not chosen at all. What would happen? Would I be shunted to another division, or would I have to wait for a knight to eventually choose me, like an orphan outstaying the younger peers? My eyes threaten to tear up at the thought, and I force the feeling down. No, I worked hard. I deserve to be here, just as much as any fancy folk or prestigious clan. I can't really take in the highway as I have my breakdown, but hallway, not highway. But the interior is sleek and smooth as the exterior. Some sort of guidance system within the black flooring illuminates a path. In my headspace, I have been following it on autopilot to avoid getting lost or entering the wrong room. A soft whoosh comes from the rail-mounted carrier box that zips past me. The ceiling tiles open and then slide back into perfect position after it passes. I wonder how much this place must have cost to build and upkeep. Just another thing that makes it feel out of place. I don't have much time to wallow though. The door I've been led to appears to be my destination. I take another quick breath before entering, refusing to let anyone see my nerves. The room is far larger than I first assumed. It looks like a training room. I can see various panels lining the walls that probably house hidden mechanisms. There's a large section of the floor that looks like they could be removed or retracted to reveal an alternate terrain or something else underneath. That's one thing I find kind of fun in like various things where it's like, yep, these facilities can just, I don't know, put a rocky environment or a grassy environment. You know, like in Pokemon or something. The room also has a telltale smell of sweat and blood from years' worth of bodies. Ooh, that is so ingrained. Even the most stringent of chemicals could not erase entirely. There's about 24 people in the room. They're waiting with little enough conversation that my entrance is known by everyone immediately. A few curious looks, a few confused. I can see that the general thought is that it wandered in by accident. One lupine in particular looks at me condescendingly. Condescendingly. That's a long word. His muzzle pulls back in the start of some sneering comment. His eyes darts over my uniform, and he sees the cavalry insignia. His mouth shuts, and then he turns away with a disappointed huff. His gems would have been found elsewhere, it seems. Or maybe I had misjudged. He is in uniform and looks the part, even if he had folded his arms and stared away. I did not give him much mind. Scanning around, I'm pleasantly surprised to see the blue-furred guy who'd almost knocked me over. In the kerfuffle, I didn't have a chance to check which division he was in. I give him a nod. He returns it with a hint of quizzical smile. This guy from, like, Kiss or something? You know, well, with the, eye things. I didn't get a chance to say anything as the blur of orange enters my field of view. I'm suddenly looking into the chest of someone thrusting themselves into my personal space. Welcome, fellow Squire. It is good to meet you. I am Zarya, Melrius of Larian, 5th planet of the Crown System, and representative of the Tigress delegation. I hope we can become good companions. The woman before me looks at me curiously. She's so upfront and honest that I don't feel any hint of derision in her tone. I wouldn't have seen like her as a her. Like, they have chest mounds, but they could also be pecs. Like, I was playing a Les Shards yesterday, and the Doberman guy, I thought was a girl because, you know, his chest was over his, like, straps. Conrad Stringer, of Foro, I hope we can get along as well. I fumble a far less impressive introduction, but she doesn't seem to mind, as she just breezes past it. I see the front of a few others' expressions, as they all seem to have had this interaction. Corwin. Great. The pleasure is mine. She holds out her paw. I notice that her paws, indeed, both arms, are comprised of some sort of metal or ceramic material that runs up to her shoulders. As I take in her paw and shake it, the intense grip and the small motorized movements make me realize her arms are cybernetic. I wince from her tight grip, but maintain the shake as strong as I can. Zarya appears happy with this, and releases my hand before she turns back to her spot by the door. As I see her lie in wait, it dawns me that she likes to be able to ambush new entrants as soon as they enter. I move further into the room. A few moments later, I hear her greet another entrant. I turn to look, and see a rather cute bear, but with a distinct paunch. Paunch? Oh, like gut? He seems as disarmed as I was. Oh, I'm Gladius Rondus, from the fifth moon of Arian, of the Ursine system. Is that okay? He squeaks out his introduction. Zarya goes in for a handshake. Witnessing it now, rather than being subject to it, I feel it actually helps a lot. She may well be greeting everyone to help break the ice and nerves. Even if there is still tension in the room, she resets everyone's state by frazzling them. I commend her strategy subtle kindness, as I'm interested to talk to her again. The bear shuffles to the side and tries to look inconspicuous, which is hard to do given his overall size. Cute. I'm cut off by my staring as I hear the door open again. Everyone stiffens up, ooh, and stands to attention as we see them enter. Led by a wolf that can only be described as impressive, the Cavalry Knights stride in. Seeing them makes my stomach do backflips. They're the heroes of the galaxy, frontline against the plague, and the whole reason we're here. It takes all I have to keep myself at attention and not gawk. The lead wolf moves to stand in front of everyone and looks us up and down silently. He paces back and forth in line, as if assessing meat on the block. I stare ahead and wait. He eventually steps back to the center and addresses us all. If you are standing here, I am supposed to congratulate you all on passing your grueling tests and requirements that the Union sets down. His eyes scan along the line of Squires again, waiting, gauging. To me, all that means is that you earned the right to walk through the door. I don't care how impressive you were on your homeworlds. He starts pacing again. We listen silently. I don't care how many acolytes you had. I don't care if you are the top of your class, or if you think you're hot shit. Here, you are the bottom of the bottom rung. The wolf's eyes scour us for any sign of breaking or weakness as he continues. You may have some fairy tale notion that you're going to be some gallant knight who saves the galaxy from evil, returning home to parades and celebration. I didn't really flinch. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't had a few daydreams about that. I'm here to shatter those illusions. We are at war. He slams his foot down to emphasize the point. He is so strong that we can feel it. If you are lucky, you may save some lives. If you are brave enough, you may as well help save those of us, your knights, who will actually fight to stop the planet from being too ravaged. My stomach starts to knot. It takes all of my effort to remain staring forwards as he rants. Get it out of your heads that you're anything more than walking batteries right now. You're here to keep us standing. We will be the ones saving lives. I'll be damned if I lose a single night because someone had a fanciful idea that this was going to be a cakewalk. He finishes as he whirls around from his pacing. He's right next to me. I can see his chest rising and falling from the passion of his speech. He's looking at me, but I keep my gaze fixed squarely forward. There you have it. Your inspirational welcome speech. Congratulations, pages. As of now, you are all officially Squires. His voice is dripping with sarcasm, and I can't tell if he's just trying to make sure we're serious or if he's actually an asshole. You'll serve a knight from now until you give up, die, or graduate to knighthood. I know, statistically, that the first is most likely, and the second is sadly too close behind. You'll learn from us, live with us. You will breathe, eat, and shit by our discretion. If you pay attention and keep up, maybe you'll be of use to us. Do I make myself clear? Yes, sir. We bellow loudly, though I thought I heard at least a few voices break in the midst. We shall see. I am, if you're totally unaware, Knight Commander of the Octad Cavalry, Fen Orion. It is my sorry responsibility to keep this quadrant safe. He looks around all of us again. And you'll give me every iota of effort that exists in those bodies of yours. I do not tolerate failure. Failure means the plague wins, and I will not allow that. Understood? Yes, sir. We take time to call as much... This time we call as much more in unison and true. We all want the plague defeated. That much would be true for any squire, but more so for any attempting to join the cavalry. At least you have lungs. Right. I shall call your name, and you'll join the knight I call afterwards. This is news to me. I want to distance myself from Furry before the selection took place, and be judged fairly. The thought makes me sweat a bit. These decisions have already been made by people far more intelligent than yourselves. I will not hear even a whimper of complaint, right? Yes, sir. I feel the nervousness of excitement bubbling around the room. While it was intimidating and scary to think we had already been paired with a knight to serve, it is also what I had been dreaming of. At least, it was for me. Looking around, I see the commander's fearsome speech had not quelled the excitement in most. He starts going down the list on the STIK. Each time a name is read off, a new squire steps forward. In turn, their knight is called forth, and they grasp each other's arm in traditional greeting. Brute Cerberus. The standoffish wolf squire, who sneered at me, steps forward, muzzle held high. You're mine. Come here. The commander points to a spot next to him. Bert then goes in to stand before him, Wynne with his arm extended. Fen stares at Brut for a cold second, before gripping his arm and then yanking him closer. Fen drips his head forward to the other's left ear, which twitches. I don't hear what is said, but Bert nods sharply and then steps in line behind his knight. My curiosity is piqued. To make a show of it must mean something. Fen lists off another name, and another one that the herd starts to thin, and one by one the herd starts to thin. Of the few I know, I watch for who they're paired with. Alexandrite Hornos. The spotted male I'd been side-eyeing steps up. His movements are very measured and graceful. Squire to Knight Cannon tops. The Ursine Knight steps forward. His looming size is quite imposing, but the kind smile on his face as he grasps the Squire's arms makes him look approachable. Sorry, I got caught. The two of them then step back in line together. Alexandrite looks pleased. I don't know the knight by name, but his presence is formidable. His arms are bigger than my head. I would not like to be crushed in those arms. Or would I? Who am I kidding? I'd love it, especially pressed up against that belly. Zoria Melrexus, Squire to Knight Kryrox the Mawful. I snap my head from ogling the bear to the tiger stepping forward, but I'm not interested in her. Stepping forward to greet her is the knight in question, and my jaw drops. Give me a sec. His height is staggering. He's covered in red scales, and doesn't look like he has an ounce of fat on him. The impressive Drake grins down at the tiger, who returns it with equal mirth. Her tail twitches happily, and they look perfectly matched. I've heard of Cyrox, though I have never met a Drake before. I can tell that he's an amazing specimen, just by looking respectfully. I recall seeing his beaming face in the pictures of Furry after the incursion. Seeing him in person is certainly an unexpected treat. This continues, and the few remaining squires are dealt out. I know my name will be called eventually, but it feels a lot like being chosen last for sports again. Gladius Rondus, Squire to Knight Captain Giaz. His noteworthy announcement is for the nervous bear who came in last. He looks confused. I understand, though, as he steps forward. The Knight Captains were always second in command, and exclusively pilots for the dropships. As a Squire to one, Gladys would be in a more support-oriented role. Now it's Dr. Octopus. As he moves up, his knight does as well. At first I wonder what I'm looking at, but then I realize the knight has graft arms on their back. This gives the illusion of him being a four-armed beast. Well, six-armed, wouldn't it? He had a few procyroids for Furro, who, seeing the raccoon knight, was a pleasing sight. So seeing the raccoon was a pleasing sight. They studied Gladius silently before offering a mechanical arm for the shake. Maybe the Knight Captain isn't one for physical contact. Gladius takes it nervously, and then the pair awkwardly move back into position. Now, there's a sea of paired knights and squires in front of me, and only a handful of lone squires left. My anxiety starts to pump in my heart, harder and louder. The fear of being left out, and possibly just dismissed, dominates my mind. What if there was a mistake, and I was left knightless, transferred to another division, or back to Foro, as some clerical error? I spend all of my energy resisting the urge to fidget, keeping my expression neutral, facing forwards. He's gonna call my name. He has to, right? I can't be the only one left standing here. What if he doesn't? I need this. Corin Strider. I snap out of my spiral of command as the commander calls me. My muscles barely listen to me as I force myself to respond and move to stand in front of him. My heart pounds in my ears. He called me, right? He's staring at me with an indiscernible look. I think about stepping back in the line. Maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe he truly didn't call me, and I imagined it all. He starts to open his mouth, and I assume I'm about to be reprimanded. Squire, tonight, Calbex Ariga. I hear the faintest murmur and breathing in the ranks from some of them around me. The name is well known, so I understand their anticipation. Former commander and an elite cavalry knight, Calbex Ariga is one of the most decorated knights in the fleet. He dropped out of active duty some time ago. I was not aware he was back. By the reaction from the rest of the room, it appears many of the others were not either. I stand in attention and wait. I hear footsteps first. Excitement rises up to meet with the anxiety and nerves that are already sky high. Then he's here, or there, passing through the ranks and coming to the front. I see the damage right away. He has scars all over, from years of pushing the plague back, not to say that any of the knights were immaculate so far. He looks serious, but there's something else in his expression as well. Apprehension? Reluctance? I can't quite place it. Before I can really consider it more, he offers his right arm to me. I look at it for the briefest of moments. I want to savor this, but I also do not wish to make a show of it. I grab his arm and clasp it firmly. He returns with a strong grip. It's not challenging or testing, which I appreciate. He releases me and then starts to walk back into the formation, towards the back. I hasten to follow him. I want to jump and whoop, but that can certainly wait until I'm alone. For the moment, we stand next to each other as the final few squires are assigned. I check out my knight from the corner of my eye. He stares straight ahead, face impassive. I'm certain that he's done this so many times, it must be boring. He's at least a foot taller than me. His fur on the side facing me is well groomed and tidy, although his paws hang loose in a relaxed posture. His back is straight, and his stance is well presented and perfect or practiced. I might be biased towards the knights I was assigned, but I can't help but feeling extra proud that I have been given such an obviously superior choice. After the final name is called, Commander Fenn steps forward, pivots on the spot, and then surveys us from our new positions. All of you stand next to your knights. Recall your training. Do not fuck up. We are all here to serve them, morning, noon, and night. Between training, you are at their beck and call. I will not take any grumbles or complaints. The easy part's over. Now we will whip you into shape, follow orders, and do better than your best. Now, move out! After this, his final command, he turns and then marches out of the room. Brunt bellows swiftly after. We then file out and follow our respective knights. I think with that scene change and stuff like that, it's a good time to call it. Ooh, my jaw hurts because of all that reading. Guess it do be like that sometimes. So anyways, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. Or quick look, sorry. I can do it. I swear! So, please comment, guys. Like, comment, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out other videos to help it grow. And please remember to spay and neuter and must help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $5 a month. And if you want me to play this game as a Let's Play, then tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put her up higher on the user's choice list. And if you have any other quick looks you want me to do, then tell me, and I'll put it in the random number generator of Destiny, and also add a point to it for, the user's choice. But that is not the end of this yet, because we still have to figure out what we're doing next walk, which will be as I organize this stuff. How many we got? Also, one of these things in the random number generator is not free, but I was like, we'll take a look at it. Okay, need to make that a big number. And then what was it, 11, I think? Yeah, number is 10, which would be Trainwreck. How do you spell that? That. Boop. Harmful, traumatizing. What was this one again? Someone suggests this, I guess. Trainwreck, a game about trains and wrecks. Also, maybe I should, whenever I should like do this as a mandatory start right there. So, this game, Dan leads a difficult life, but just as he thinks he's had enough, salvation appears in his inbox in front of a mysterious invitation. In the form of a mysterious invitation. It promises an all-expenses-paid vacation on a state-of-the-art luxury train, featuring some of the most colorful partygoers the world over. Who could refuse that? What is Dan to do, however, when his party goes completely off the rails, train, and turns into a deadly killing game? Worst yet, a killing game that charges Dan with the impossible choice of which passengers are executed. Trainwreck is a non-linear visual novel where your choices have significant impact on the story. Navigate it wisely, as all of their lives are in your hands. Sorry, all of a sudden was like, I'm gonna erp up, because reasons. So, if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can get it for $5 a month. Is there anything else I can think of while I'm at it? I'm just kind of looking through the thing right here. There's a toy key. And what looks like some kind of jackal dude. I like jackal dudes. They are good peoples. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna go make myself a salad because I am hungry. And until next time, another Let's Play. A quick look, sorry. By me, GamerWolfSix. Some other game. That being Trainwreck. The one that's right there. And you know. So, thanks and see ya.